Well, hello all. Today is a special day because we have the members of the Loughshore Cage Bird Society coming to visit David's bird room. The Loughshore Cage Bird Society is a new club formed in and around the Belfast area for all different types of bird fanciers. So I'd like to welcome all the members of the Loughshore Cage Bird Society to David's bird room. Come on in. So we'll go, welcome to David's bird room. Come on in.
Come on in. That's consistent.
I'd like to welcome all the members of the Loughshore Cage Bird Society. Is that the correct name?
Yep.
It's a newly formed society for all different kinds of birdmen, different bird and ladies. So I'd like to welcome you all here to David's bird room. So I hope you all enjoy your wee visit.
Oh, I'm dead on.
Could we just sort of find out who is all here and what all do you keep yourselves?
I'm Alice, I just got back into the budgies again.
You're a budgie man, yes?
Jim Wright,
Jim Wright?
formerly Budgies,
Yes.
Native Finches, and now ornamental bosses.
Yes. So no small birds at all.
Very small birds. Every manager.
Right. That was it. And yourself?
I'm his every monitor.
He needs somebody to look after you, right? And yourself?
All before I used to keep ringnecks and Alexanders and stuff.
Yes.
So I'm now on the ornamental spottings, but I still have been teaching Alexanders.
Aye, very good. Aye.
I'm Walter, and I just buy and sell birds and keep birds, mixture of stuff.
All right, aye. A whole sort of variety of different
Whole
stuff.
mixture of stuff.
I bird bond
Finches, the finches, the parrots.
Yes, good stuff. And we,
Lord, I keep budgies.
yes. And it's exhibition budgies you keep, Robert, isn't it? Uh-huh.
I'm Stephen.
Stephen, yes.
Zebra Finches.
Yes, good man. And it's show birds or pet type or
A mixture of both.
so working your way into show birds.
Yeah.
And yourself?
Tail. I've got a ringneck and a budget.
Very good. Are we pet birds just in the house kind of thing?
The ringneck's in the car. Because I just moved in with a friend. She's making so much noise this morning, so I had to bring her out.
All right. Maybe we can bring her in and let her have a look at the birds. Well, we'll see how it works out. Aye.
William,
Yes, William.
I'm Twyford and I'm in the budgies. I've started in the bullfinches as well.
Oh, good man. Native bullfinches or the Siberian bullfinches?
Siberian.
Very good. Aye.
I'm Sally, Budgies, and some Rosello, Cockatoos.
Right. Very good. So as I say, good to see you all here. If you, whatever you want to know, you can ask away whatever questions that you like. So we'll just have a wee general, a formal chat, and we'll make it all nice and just relax. No camera, it's not there, it's not working, so we'll just settle ourselves into it. Like,
You wouldn't mind starting because by just maybe showing, I've noticed you've a lot of different varieties in here.
yes,
Some that I've never seen before, some that I'm not familiar with. So
That is true.
You wouldn't mind just going around the room and showing us the different stuff that you have? Is that
I will do. I will do. Behind us here is my native finches. The native finches being red poles. I was going to say suskins, but the suskins are all outside. There's suskins up in the top. So what we have, there's a pair of suskins in here. Now these are not like your native suskins because they're colour mutations. This is actually a brown pastel. Does anybody know much about colour mutations? Or so a brown is basically like a cinnamon bird. So like in the sort of budgie terms, it would be a cinnamon. It would be, is there a diluted form of cinnamon in budgies?
like a lace one?
It's lacewing, right. Well, this will be a sort of diluted brown. It'll be like the Isabel. Is there no other sort of diluted colour? Or
Dilute.
there'd be a dilute, so that'd be something similar to the dilute in the budgie terms. Well, he's long with an Isabel hen. Isabel is actually another colour down from brown, which is it's like a fawn. We have got browns with Java's parrot terms. You have browns and then you have the fawn. So this would be like the fawn and the Java's parrot term. That's where the colour mutation is. She's currently on There's 2 young ones in there which will be ready to ring tonight. She has already had reared 2 young ones, and she's back down again, 2 more. No big clutches, but I'm getting some, which I'm happy enough.
And the nest itself, is that Christmas tree you have wrapped around it?
That's just a Christmas tree inside, ordinary wicker nest pan.
Okay.
And then I would add on these baskets here, that's just stuff I cut from a hessian bag.
Okay.
And I cut them all into these wee strips. And that's what they use here, along with moss, pampas grass, any kind of nice soft kind of leaves, branches, stuff like that there. So that's what they build their nest with. So they'll build their own nest, and I just leave them alone. I give them their seed, their water, their egg food, their seed, and let them do everything else. So sometimes they don't do it themselves, but anyway. Suskin cock in there, he was along with another Isabel hen, and that double breeder. Well, they failed to actually have nests and 2-3 rounds. She had young ones, first time round, she threw all the young ones out of the nest. I gave her the benefit of the doubt, and she done the same again. She kept one, and the one stayed for about a week, and next thing was chucked out. It's just one of these things where you're breeding any kind of native birds. Up in here we're trying for mules. So we have the Suskin cock along with the red factor hen. Same again, Suskin cock to red factor hen. She has had 2 sets of eggs. All eggs were blank. No young ones at all. So same again, that's what happens when you're trying to breed mules. You'll either pull a shed for them or you'll get nothing. And here I had 1 young one from her at the beginning of the year at the first nest. She was down and laid again, she only laid 2 eggs. Those 2 eggs were blank. So I'm not really expecting many more mules. What we have in here, it's an experimental pair that I have. And the reason why I'm doing this, what we have, there's a yellow Irish fancy along with a red Isabel canary, colour canary. So my idea on this was to breed a small canary that's got red factor within it. This is for to produce miniature mules. Because today's modern red canary, like so that size of bird, they're too big to produce good miniature mules, because they're a lot bigger than the ordinary Suskin. The small mules you get from them, they're nondescript, they're not good showbirds, they're too big for a miniature mule, they're not big enough to compete against Norwich mules. So what I'm trying to get is a line of small canaries that have got red gene in them. So you're getting a small miniature mule that you're able to colour feed and get good colour, so you're getting an intensive feathered bird, good colour and a nice size in order to compete on the show benches. There's 1 young one in there. This is also another pair of the same. It's a red black to a yellow Irish fancy hen. So the reason that's sort of 2 pairs, there's actually a 3rd pair, so I can cross those young ones. It gives me a line. So this year I got 3, because there's a cockbird over there, 3 Irish fancies. And I went for the yellow feather Irish fancy, because the buff feather would be a bigger feathered bird. So I went for the yellow feathered bird, and I also put them to yellow feathered birds in my reds, so as to produce a smaller type bird. Because it doesn't really matter, because they're only going to be for a mule. I'm not going to be breeding generations of lines. So double yelling them one season, it's not going to do the bird any harm. The young ones they'll be a good enough feather.
What would the long-term issue be if you'd done that? You get feather problems with them, do you think?
You would only get finer feathers. The feathers would be sort of, they call them hard feathers, so they'd be hard and soft, and they'd be very hard. The bird wouldn't be full of the cell. You know, the feathers would be that fine, you'd be sort of nearly seeing through them, but that's the thing you don't do. In budgie terms, you breed opaline to normal at all times, do you, or do you?
Just depends.
Doesn't really matter, no. So they're not really the equivalent of yellow and buff, no.
openings tend to be more buff damage, but you can get normal buff damage birds as well.
Right, yes. So in order to keep the balance with the canaries, you're breeding yellow to buff. To keep a feather. If you're not showing birds and just keeping birds as a hobby, it doesn't do any harm. As a wee singing bird, they'll sing no matter what shape his feathers are, whether he's big, smaller and different like. So it don't really matter about sort of double buffing or double yelling. If you're only just going to have a bird for yourself, that kind of way like. But whenever you want to breed birds for exhibition, you're always trying to improve, you're always trying to keep the standard right, and that's why I do that. But because the end product is probably next season, because they're going to be as mules, and as you all know yourself, I don't know if you do, mules you can breed off and they're infertile. So that's an end product, so that doesn't really matter. That hen was along with a goldfinch cockbird. Bonded really well, and he was sitting beside her at all times, but not one full egg I got from him. So she's down now on her second nest. She had reared 2 young ones first time round, fostered them off another one, and she's now currently on 2 young ones again, being fostered from one of the reds. Pair of brown siskins in here. First round, all blank eggs. First round was all blank eggs. Second time round, the eggs were full, but she raised off them before they were due to hatch. So there's nothing there. What we have here is my young lesser redpolls. They're all bred in the outdoor aviary. I'll let you see the sort of parents of them whenever we get outside. This is the mealy redpolls. So there are 2 different subspecies of redpolls. A mealy redpoll is a lot bigger and less brown on it. It's more sort of like white on the chest with well laced. Whereas what you're looking for in the lesser, the smaller, finer bird, you do want it nice and cobby, but you want it all nice brown right through to the centre and well laced. So they're a completely different type of bird, and you do not cross a lesser with a mealy. You're going nowhere. So it's just that thing that's not done. Mealies this year really just tested me to the limit. They laid eggs, 4, 5, 6 full eggs. As soon as they were ready to hatch, they were chucked out. I was blaming the cockbird, took a cockbird away, stalwart threw out. They just really done my head on this year.
Have you bred them before?
I've bred them before, didn't have as much a bother, but this year I went at them with sort of more birds. I started off with probably 5 hens, and each of them nearly all done the same. The very first young one I got, there's a bigger young one on there. Where is he? That one there, canary reared. They're just not the same. Not the same, because the parents had threw out all their young ones. I managed to get one, put that in below a canary. That was dragged up. It just never. You'll see the difference. There's 2 young left or mealies out in the flight, and they just have come out of the nest, and you can see a big difference. Like, I'm looking there now, and I'm going, there's a mealy in there, and you couldn't pick it out.
No.
Because the lessers are as big as it, so not a good mealy. You know, whenever you're struggling to go mealy.
So, when you're breeding natives, you need the canaries or as fosters, you couldn't do it right?
No, I try not to foster. You know, most of my birds, they're all self-bred, and I try and keep them all self-bred. I don't use my canaries as fosters, solely because they're nearly as hard to beat as the natives. You know, once you get into a certain quality and certain standard of birds, like budgies, you could probably breed pet budgies all day, every day, and get 10 young ones on a nest. But you're never going to get 10 young ones on a nest of shoebirds. It's the same goes with the coloured canaries or any quality of shoebirds. Like, the more, the better they are, the less they are working and rearing young ones for you. So, no, not good foster birds. Plus, as we pet hate them, people come to me, I'm looking at a red canary for mewing. Go away. It's just because to me, my red canary is as important as somebody's Norwich that they pay in, or it's just I'm not breeding
Lesser birds.
lesser birds.
You're breeding for showing.
I'm breeding for a show, so it's just they're not feeders.
Bit of an insult to you.
That's a bit of an insult, is right. Because like I wouldn't go up to a Norwich man or a Yorkie man and go, here, look, I'm a Norwich for feeders. They'll hunt you, like. But the colour canaries are nearly the same, like, as far as, like, they're not easy bred.
I don't think I've ever seen a wild green finch. How big?
Bigger, massive bigger. Yes. And a wild greenfinch side by side with a shoe greenfinch is a totally different bird.
Yeah.
Would never compete, never look. It is the difference between a pet budgie and a shoe budgie.
Yeah.
It is how they progress. It's something that they could and have done with greenfinches, but they haven't done with goldfinches or bullfinches. They have done it with the redpolls. They've improved them, because what has happened with goldfinches, bullfinches, you have your Siberian bullfinches, Siberian goldfinches, and those that were breeding the normal goldfinches, if they improved that goldfinch that got that bit bigger or bit shaper, the first thing we want, that's Siberian.
Yeah. There was no telling the difference between what was raised from a native.
So they were being accused then, that's not a native bird, that's a Siberian. So it made it nearly impossible to move forward and make it different
That's
looking.
maybe not a bad thing.
It's not a bad
Because
thing.
you have to naturally then improve.
Yes. So that there's a totally different looking bird. Same as the lesser redpoll. A native wild flying bird wouldn't compete against what's on the shoe bench nowadays. Different bird altogether.
But even with there's not much to them. Do you know what I mean?
Not much
to
to
sort
them.
of show what a wild wouldn't be. There's less the
Yes.
wild one, do you know?
Oh, aye.
Yeah, they're nice. And would you have a favourite yourself? I know you've got quite a few different varieties, but have you got a favourite?
I don't have a favourite.
Yeah.
Aye.
You don't find yourself gravitating towards one more than the other?
I did state once on a show that I was doing, and a fella asked me what was my favourite bird out of the whole lot, and you know what it was?
Wasn't it one of your canaries, was it?
Racing pigeons.
Oh, right, okay.
To me, that was the ultimate, like.
See that age, do you see that all year?
Not as much of, but yes, they would get it a bit throughout the season. During the breeding season, they're getting that 3 times a day, fresh stuff, 3 times a day. Like,
Stop giving them something. It takes them a while to pick it back up again.
Yes.
You start giving them
And
because they're not used to it.
they get it before the breeding season, and that gets them back into the way of going again, gets them started so they know what they expect. But I say I'm coming in here on a daily basis, egg food, soak seed, and just changing and rotating and just, aye.
Those boys of mine would love, they love watermelon.
All right.
Watermelon.
Yes.
I love that.
She's awesome, yes.
Oh, nice.
Young Mealy Redwood.
Yeah. That's a real nice tight nest that they build, isn't it?
See that, aye?
Are they one of the ones that sort of, whenever the youngsters do they take it off the side and they're then dump it down? Are they one of those ones?
I they would clean the nest. You notice there's no dirt around the nest. They would keep cleaning it.
Yeah.
And this is the problem with ringing birds, because sometimes you have a ring that's a bright colour, and the bird is cleaning the nest.
They'll
She'll
think
see the
that
ring.
it's
And
So do you have wee covers for them?
I don't. This year they're a black ring. I'm lucky enough that it hasn't been, but in general it does happen. Like, it's happening less and less as the years goes on, because the birds are more
Domesticated?
they're more domesticated, and there's less chance of doing that. Like, but it would have happened in years past, steady. Like. Oh, that is fiddly.
I mean, I've been up enough now.
Fiddly.
Yeah.
You know, but
Like, and they have to be rung nearly on the right day because, and the wee short, thick toes, and a day extra, they're big, thick
What size
toes.
of rings go onto those? Like a C or something like that?
That
Or?
is a C ring.
Aye.
See, that's the C ring.
Yeah.
The lesser red poles are B rings, so they're even smaller than
Smaller
that.
again.
And that's the rings for the green finches. They're an E ring.
Like, these are what I think the zebras taken.
Probably.
But even theirs, you know,
Aye.
I'm sort of looking at the size of those green finches. Like they would be a lot bigger than a zebra finch.
Oh, a lot
Yet they
bigger.
wear the same ring. You know,
Aye, that is right.
I'm watching this wee boy. He's trying to get a.
He's batting away. Uh-huh.
tell you what, he's doing a good enough job.
And they.
There's bits of them wet.
And then that hen up on here, you can see she's off in this. So she has 3 young on here. They were wrong 2 days ago.
Are there any of these here that are a bit weary about sort of nest interaction?
Just them rung of that, like. You probably couldn't put that ring on that now, like. No. That was only rung about a day or so ago. Not big.
It's getting well started, aren't
Oh, aye. So there's 3 in there, so there is.
Yeah.
So they don't mind being disturbed, like within reason. They're happy enough.
It's one of those sort of things. I suppose all you're looking for is I'm still alive. Yes.
Oh, aye.
Job done.
Aye.
No,
Aye. That's it. In a lot of cases, you're just leaving them alone and watching them and observing that they're still going under the nest. If she's out of the nest a lot, you think yourself, oh, something wrong. So then you're on, recheck.
And you take the cockbird because I take it she's in by herself.
Well, the cockbird's in here with another hen. I run a trio, you see, so the cockbird's on this hen now, like. And she's quite happy finishing and rearing young ones on her own. Aye.
I suppose that makes a big, can make a big difference to the numbers bred over the year because you're not having to do this.
Yes, and it lets you sort of get a bit of a lane going. Because then you're producing half brothers, half sisters, and then you can establish a lane a lot quicker. Because you only have a short breeding series period every year. Like.
See, I think that's the thing maybe that some of the people off the natives and stuff, but you have to, that's something that hasn't been domesticated out of them.
That is right.
You know, whereas Canaries or we were at Stanford for the first time last year,
This is whenever Robert initially asked me at the start, I said, you know, about if the men want to come to me, because they'll be able to see how I breed them, what I have. I could go and have a talk at a meeting, and you could take a few birds away. It's just not the same.
I've said in the past, it's good to come and see people's husbandry methods because
Yes.
you can use that.
Always different.
You know, but you can pick up bits and pieces, you know, and say, oh, it's good. My bird will that, you know.
That is right.
As you say, taking bits and pieces and whatever works for you.
Make it your own. Make it your own is right. But no, it's good, like, because a lot of budgie men, finch men, this is totally different.
See, this is it.
Totally different, like.
See, for me, with the zebras, I can breed them when I want.
That is right. That is right.
But these wee boyos here, what?
You have a season. You do the season, like.
The thing is, at least you can have it fairly well tailored. If you want to go on holiday in the summer.
Well, that's true.
Everything says
You can.
opened up, and you're maybe doing one set of feeders, one set of triangles.
That is right. Aye.
And then cleaning as well, cuts it all down.
Oh, aye.
That's one thing that for me, is I have a young family.
Yes.
That's the one thing.
Oh, definitely so.
A certain amount, and that's it.
And I learned that with having that problem with the pigeons. I'm very picky about keeping things clean, keeping it well aired, because I'll have these open when possible, like in purse special. That's all open, let the air blow on
You
through.
can feel the difference. See, whenever you go into a shed, you can feel the dust, sometimes
Aye.
the heaviness.
Yes,
Whereas whenever you come in and everything's opened up, you can feel the lightness.
that is true.
Because that's why I got rid of the budgies because the dust was. I was getting in with a mask on, and I'm like thinking,
Why am I doing this?
yeah.
I have a big extractor fan in mine.
Aye.
My wife goes up first thing in the morning. She opens the door and puts the extractor fan on, and by the time I go,
Cleared.
keep it completely
Good job.
cleared, you know.
Good job. Uh-huh.
I've been in people's places. And I always know the stuff because see if I was standing here and this was stuff, I'd be coughing.
You're right.
That's it. Coughing and sneezing.
Coughing and coughing.
Yeah.
Aye.
Sneezing against me.
With the pigeons, I was coughing 24/7. It was ridiculous. Like, aye.
I think there's a lot of people who isn't it called pigeon lung or something like that?
Yes.
Well, I don't think it's officially called that, but
It's the
that's
same as farmers' lung, you know.
Aye, that's
Probably not.
They get the dust from the
Aye. Aye.
something that they call it disease of birds get it.
Coccidiosis.
No, there's another. Septicosis. You get
Right.
parts and stuff.
Oh, right. Aye.
But anyway, but it's not good for you. I'll tell you that.
That is true.
Not as good.
So that's why you keep it as well ventilated as possible. Like. Uh-huh.
And the birds like it better too.
well, that's
Oh,
it.
aye.
Better for them, better for you.
This is it.
The same. See today, all those birds of mine are sitting out in the pouring rain.
Love it.
I see that good weather.
Aye.
I wouldn't come out.
Uh-huh. They love that rain.
See, in terms of greens, they used to eat. Now, I know that there's native.
Yes.
Is that like a watercress? Is
No,
it? Or
chickweed.
is it Chickweed.
Chickweed, no,
So chickweed, and I've seen the dandelion leaves as well.
Chickweed and dandelions and lettuce and spinach and
Aye.
I grew my own pot of chickweed in the greenhouse.
Seen in one of the videos you being out
Out there.
back there for your lettuce and stuff like that.
Uh-huh. And even the leaves of the
Do you
peas
give them
there.
the pea leaves?
Oh, aye.
Do you know what? Because I'm saying back home, I've got peas growing out the back, and until you just mentioned that there, I would never have thought. I'm going to try because I've got.
Try them if they don't like it.
The
You
wee
try
mule will
it.
eat it.
I'm not doing them at harm.
Zebras might not eat it, but I'll give them a go.
If you can eat it yourself, the birds will eat it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I love carrots. Grated carrots.
Yes.
Grated carrots.
Uh-huh. Aye.
Watermelon.
Yes.
That's their three favourite.
Very good. we'll go through here and let anybody else.
Could we sit on top of it? Good, thank you very much.
Not a problem at all.
I'll get a
Love
wee
the oak
group
tree.
photo-
Hey.
You like it?
Oh, I
Get a wee group photo down at the front of the building. Is that
Aye. Aye. So we'll go, welcome to David's Boardroom. Come on in.
That's the system.